Hello, my name is Steve, and this is Steve in the Old Milk Barn. I think that's the way I titled it. And I put a video up a while back, and it was pretty crude, obviously. Just a walk around to the place. Comments pretty much came back as too much camera movement, so I've dug out my tripod here, and I'm going to try shooting a small video today. It's much easier for me, now that I'm learning, is to tie things together rather than try to chop them apart. So this will be a series of short takes, I think. And short explanation, I'm going to make you jump around a little bit, of why this particular series or this particular channel is called Steve in the Old Milk Barn. And that is because if I pick you up and turn you around, you will see, oops, that was a sudden one, wasn't it? And those of you who are old folks, been around the farm, you'll see that there's about an 18-inch wide trough that's been cemented in on this side, and again over here on this side. And the cows were up against the windows, facing the windows on both sides in their stanchions. And that was the manure trough. The famous cleaning out the manure trough type situation. Anyhow, that's the reason for the name. And now let's, without further ado, move you in a little bit. Now I'll be out of frame. Things will be out of frame a lot because obviously I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But there's my jet mill drill, and the goal is to take this very badly sawn chunk of aluminum and turn it into a trough, again the trough, for my camera to set, held in place by a couple of tie straps and then bored on the bottom to fit the tripod. So in just a moment we'll take off on that. Well, as you can see, I've already clamped in the block, a little block I want to square up. I got a 1/2 inch 2 fluke end mill in there, and I'm just getting ready to pare this one side off, which is a pretty terrible cut on the bandsaw. So let's see if I can get this done on camera, which is a challenge because I can't even get it done sometimes without the camera bothering me. So let's see how it goes. I can't tell you what the speed is. How fast is my hand going around? Yes, we're doing about 20,000 cut there. I know it's kind of foolish to throw the chips at me, but it's easy to find out here on the floor than they are back in amongst all the rest of the tooling back there, cabinets. So I got maybe one more cut. Get that squared, or at least that side screwed up. Make another 20,000, maybe 15, something in that area. Now I'm a real amateur. I'm going to be doing some things that real amateurs do. And it's going to take me forever. So, you don't want to watch me fiddle around. See you later. Well, looks like we got a good cut on that side. So, we'll make a turn here. I've got to get me a file, it looks like. Well, that heated that block up pretty good. That must be that's a brand new cutter, but it must be a little dull. Just a moment, maybe I'll get out of sight and be back. Just getting me a file. Thought I had everything ready for you guys, but obviously I don't. So, let's see what we got going here. So, I think I'll go that way. Oops, lost my little squaring device there. Gotta back it up where I can get a good shot at it with a hammer. It's just tipping back and forth. There we go. So we go around here and work this other side. And really over there too far. I'll cut into my vise. Oops, backwards. Okay. I got a mess up here. Looks like everything's pretty clear. There are no dimensions of this, by the way, if you're waiting for me to quote some sort of a measurement. This long, that wide, and then I take a ball mill and cut a little groove in it. And that does it. So, let's get the quill up out of the way. Not nearly as hot that last time. I don't know what was going on. Maybe I had some little ridiculous thing that I didn't know about. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break in this video now so that I can okay, here we go again. I just wanted to bust that in half, so if I screw up part of it, at least I don't throw the whole thing away. And see how we go. Okay, where'd we go last time? Went to there, cut that one there. I'll shave this one off. Or to do it in a little aluminum pin. Okay. Here's what I'm really good at. Putting stuff down. Oh, there it is on top of the vise. I'm also blind. So, tack it down there again. Tack that down. The only thing I don't like about this little mill drill, of course, I'd like to have a regular old knee mill, but the real problem is trying to raise and lower that, too far, raise and lower that quill, or not the quill, but the head, without having a problem of losing alignment. And I have an attempt made here to stop that, but it won't work. I've got a laser mounted up here, which I got another laser mounted down here, and shoot it against the opposing wall once I've got set up. And then watched another video of a fellow in Montreal, I think it's Quebec, I'm not sure where he's at, really good guy. And since watching him, I've learned to get some reference points on here. And so with the reference points, once you drop the quill, you can drop it back into that point on the table, and it'll be lined. You draw some lines in here, and you can put your stops on. Anyways, I'd have to go back and review it again to know exactly how I did it, but at least he helped me understand there is a way that's more accurate than my little lasers. See, he has a wrong foo. I guess he taught for a long time. He's just a retired guy. He's got an old wrong, not an old one, I shouldn't say that. He's got a wrong foo mill drill. And so that's why he knows that technique. Okay, everything ready to go, or have I got something in the way? Here we go. Right out of the bag, 100% of the time, I turn the crank in the wrong direction for the direction I want to go. I don't know if that'll ever fix. Maybe someday it'll just come to me. And after all, you screw it in to go in, clockwise. You screw it counterclockwise to come out. But for some reason my brain never recognizes that. So away I go in the wrong direction. Well, maybe just a touch more. By the way, I'm running, I think, about 3,000, I'm not sure. Vibrate here. Somebody. Okay. I guess I might as well just pull it out of there to start with. I gotta have it out to drive it back in. You know, probably these sides are nowhere near square. I'm doing something wrong probably, and I'm not even recognizing it. Because if I recognize it, I wouldn't do it wrong. But, you know, I started thinking I could have fun doing this. I'm retired, if you haven't figured it out. By trade, I'm an electrical lineman. I climbed poles for, well, I was a supervisor for a while, but my trade was climbing poles and working high voltage. But, you know, I got too old for that. And when you're in a trade, it takes some physical effort. The co-workers, especially the younger ones, not so much the older ones, they sympathize. But the younger ones are really good at telling you when you're too old for something. And then they don't trust you. They think you don't know nothing when you get old. The truth is that you know more than they do. And I think that embarrasses them. So they have to take the stand that you don't. And they're lazy, usually. Not all of them. Many of them. And they want to find some secret way to not have to work. And so, you know, I may offend a few people by saying that, but it's somewhat true. I mean, not in all trades, I'm sure, but in enough of them. So that you probably know what I mean if you're retired or were, well, I'm sure it doesn't make any difference whether you're in a physical trade or in a non-physical trade, but they do have a tendency. Oh, Mr. Pete probably tell you he taught school and he knows it. From children grow adults, and so that many of the people he taught probably thought he didn't know nothing either. Yet, worst of all, didn't want to pay attention to anything. So I've driven that. I'm always having to watch out for that. I don't pay attention when I first set up. And then I end up with a I'm going to do it again, I say. I end up with what am I trying to say? I end up with one of those things sticking out too far, and then fortunately I've never cut off one, or I've never cut into one. The only thing I've done so far is a little teeny nick on my vise here. I may have mentioned that in one of the other, on the other video. My first video was I had a razor, and I thought I was going to fall in love with that and go out and run all over the place with it. I didn't have it only a year, I think. Got it off in the woods maybe 4 times. Found that it just was not my style. I didn't really have any interest in doing it. But in the meantime, I built myself a little crude 2-wheel trailer that was light enough so that when the razor wasn't on it, I could pick it up and move it. And got some good comments, got some bad comments, I got some people who thought that basically I had no idea what the hell I was up to. Everybody said, well, why don't you have just one trailer to do all that stuff? And I said, well, I didn't want one trailer. Well, I wanted 2 or 3. I've got, I think, 3. Let's see, Steve, that was almost, Mr. Bozo did visit there. Let's try going in this way. Now I got a nice little slot down the back. So I'm going to have to make 4 butt cuts there. Oh, sorry, it didn't have to be any particular size. Now it's not any particular size. Well, I almost cut into my vise while I was bullshitting right now. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you're talking and walking. Good thing I wasn't chewing gum also. Now I gotta cut down in there a little ways. Take a little bit more out. Now you see if I'm not careful, I'm cutting into something else here. And all of a sudden I've changed my plan. I did have a plan, by the way. But, God, I hate aluminum. When you throw it at yourself, it goes everywhere. I'm going to build a screen, or maybe just a Chinese, I forgot what they call them, apron or whatever it's called. Oh, see, I can't. But anyways, to go behind this thing, so that I can set it up when I'm doing the mill work, and have it come, about up to here on both sides. At least trap all the swarf and all the chip right straight down on the ground. If it doesn't get on that table, well, I don't want to move it. I gotta show you, I got a table over here, and a bench over there. Anyhow, everything is always in the way. Okay, let's see where I'm at here.
talking again. This might be it. I'd love to have a automatic feed on the crank. I just can't afford that kind of being retired. Getting all cracked up to be. There are no alternative incomes. They're all pretty much fixed. And when you get ready to retire, pretty much got fixed debts. Fixed income just kind of followed right along with the fixed debts. All you can do is, I mean, you could maybe go back to work. Not doing what I did for work. And I really don't know anything else. I mean, I'm a mechanic by heart. I've been a mechanic ever since I was 16. That's what actually got me into the live voltage line work. I worked for in a hydro plant, and they automated the plant. And so after they automated the plant, they came to me and said, "Hey, we're going to lay you off. What do you think about that?" I said, "Well, I don't particularly care for it, obviously. I married them." And they said, "Well, how would you like to try one of our apprenticeships?" And it was a union company. And I said, yeah, okay. I'd kind of like to be a mechanic. I've watched these guys come around the hydro plant here and work on this plant. What happened there? I don't know if you can see that very well, but I've got a hell of a rough edges. I jump around that. Well, back she goes. Anyways, to make it short, they said, "No, we don't have what you want to do, but we got an opportunity for you to be a lineman." They said, "Bring warm clothes," because this was back in the East Coast, up north. "Bring warm clothes and show up on," I think it was January 9th. Been so long now, I don't remember. But anyway, show up on January 9th, I think they said. "And wear your warm clothes, and we'll put you on a line crew as an apprentice. And see how you like that." Is the kind of the way the guy said it. "And see how you like that." Well, he was a nice enough guy. He just kind of loved to bring bad tidings, I think. Anyhow, I'm going to do that side again because I really don't know what caused that really rough. I don't know, it loosened up or something. Don't know what happened, but I'll take that. Actually, I don't need that piece of metal anymore. The other two sides should be square of each other. Of course, I'm setting in the vise just on the end. Just going to camp that vise, but I think it'll hold it good enough. See what happens. Anyways, make a long story short, January 9th, I think it was, or 6th, I'm not sure, 1969, I became a lineman. As the old saying goes, you are one. Or I are one, I used to say. I are one. And I did that up until 2011. At which time I finally retired. Now, see, I need some lube on there, don't I? That's what it is. There's galling on that cutter. Now, let's see if I can put a little bit of something on there and help that cut. Well, that's a long process, isn't it, for a little teeny piece of metal. Clear. Okay, what I got. Got some Walmart answers to WD-40. line cut out of this. Either my block isn't very square. I'm really not sure what happened. Take this. Almost 1,000. You know, that's a hell of a lot better. So, all right. There it is. There's that block that started out 2 by 2. And it looks like it's a 1.5 by 1.5 maybe. Actually 1 1/4 by 1.5. Unfortunately, because like I said, there are no dimensions. That's just exactly what I wanted it to look like. So now I got to get a ball mill. Swap out my mill, put a ball mill in there, and cut me a little groove. I guess in order to do this, I'm not going to use a. Well, I guess I got to figure out how big this thing is. There has to be a dimension, so I can rough it out. I'm not gonna find the center on it because it doesn't make any difference. But I do have to know where it is, I guess. Yeah, pretty close to 1/2 inch. What's the other one? 3/4? Oh, almost 2. 1.94. I don't know if you can see that, but this little cheapy calipers say, but you see what it also says? How do you like that? It says it probably isn't square. Let's see about this way. Well, it's liking this a little better, but I think I got a square right over here. I was using it the other day, working on this little machine. Let's see how bad it is. Well, now that side isn't bad. I don't know if you can see that or not. That focused enough. Yeah? That side's okay. Yeah, that one might be, that's just a touch off right there, which throws this one off a little bit. That corner's slightly over a 90, so it's a little bit more like about a 91 or 90 and 30 seconds, somewhere in that area. But you know what? I'm probably getting in too close. You can't see it because it's not focusing. But like I said, that's perfect. That's just what I wanted. So let's move on. Now I got to pull that mill. I'll leave that up. Now I don't. It rattles anyway, so I don't really use it. So. I swear I felt some heat there. Should I or shouldn't I? I'm looking at this chips all over the place and thinking, should I clean it up or shouldn't I? Right that thing right into that vice and hurt my fingers. Yeah, see, that thing was galling. I should have been lubing that all the time, I think. I know getting out of frame is not legal, I guess, right? It's not legal. It's not the way you do videos. Yeah, I got this ball mill. And this was given to me, well, actually no, I take it back. This is one more of those things I got at an auction, if I remember right. But it's, you know, it might be carbide. Feels heavy. I don't know, but anyway, this is going to go to use here. unfortunate part is I may have to raise this head. We'll see. I don't even know how this is going to cut. Really don't have a lot of experience running a ball mill. Okay, so what were we here? We're gonna run that ball mill down through this way, I think. Or should I? I gotta get a 1/4" screw in the back. What the hell? It'll look better if I run it down this way. So what do we got? 147. So that's 1, 2, 3.5. Well, that's almost 148. 1, 2. It's 147, so it's 740. Close enough. 740. I guess 7. There it is. 748. That's close enough. Let's see how close it comes out when we scribe her. Oh shit. Can't see between the lines, so it must be right on the money, huh? How do you like that? Let's see if I can get something out of find the center. What am I gonna use? Now, where is everything? Now I gotta take that damn ball mill out and put in a 3/8. Here's my 3/8. I don't have a lot of collets. I went in to buy a whole bunch one day. Guy at a tool store. They had a sale on they were $100 and some. I mean, you can get them on the internet for less than that. And he said, "What are you, somebody?" Oops, that there. He said, "What are you, somebody exotic?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Unless you're really an exotic machinist, you're probably never going to use more than half, 3/4, maybe 5/8, 1/4". You know, all the standards. He said, but you ain't going to use, unless you've got some special tooling, you're probably not going to use too many 15, 16, or 11/32 or all these strange ones in here." He said, and I can sell them to you for like, I think it was $7 a piece, some really reasonable price. And if you calculate the $7 a piece up and then look at that set over there, that you're going to buy a whole bunch of for nothing, we're going to pay a fortune for stuff you just don't absolutely need. Well, I'm going to raise the head this time. I have to. And then I'll have to, oops, get up in there. Have to, all right, here we go. An awful process. Nobody with a mill drill likes if they get a round shaft drill. And that's raising up the mill. I don't have to go too far. Just a touch. Okay, right there. And you saw it move around, so I really don't care, because once I'm set up, I just got to cut me a groove. It took me a while, you know. If you're not really thinking, you don't realize that it really don't make any difference where this head is, whether it's rolled around here or rolled around there. It still runs true with the table. So, at least that's the way I think it does. So, let's see, I don't have to worry about that. Nope. Yeah, I still didn't get it high enough, did I? God damn, talking and walking. Takes all the thinking out of what you're doing. Should have known. When I was in the trades, we didn't bullshit a lot when you're working on high voltage stuff. Kept it to bare communications of what absolutely had to be talked about, and that was business. Once in a while, I don't know how somebody's girlfriend's going. Well, I don't know when you guys went away. I knew you were going to get bored. I didn't think you'd leave without telling me. The camera shut itself off. Out the door, one of you shut the darn thing off with it. I don't know if you can hear me or not. If you can't, so be it. If you can, well, ran out of battery and it's still struggling. I'm not sure how long it will last. Now, I've got a battery in my pocket. So I'll be damned if I put it on there. About done. What I said was, we're watching along with the dimensions, right? It's got to be just so deep in that block. Can't remember where it was, but just so deep. Everything is not a science. This is the last cut, I think. I think there's one more cut in this thing. I don't know how long that'll run. Back for a polish and then we're quitting. Well, I'm not going to drill a hole in the back of it, and my battery is about gone. But I'm just going to say, so long, folks. Badia, badia. I can't do that, can I? That's probably some sort of a copyright. Just say goodbye.